सुबह 11 बजे मन की बात।
Hello and welcome. You're watching Parliament News with me, Munmun Paracharya. Let's get started with what transpired in Lok Sabha today. The Lok Sabha today passed the Companies Amendment Bill, which seeks to tighten corporate social responsibility compliance and reduce the load of cases on the National Company Law Tribunal or NCLT. Piloting the Companies Amendment Bill 2019, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said companies not spending the mandatory 2% profit on corporate social responsibility or CSR activities for a period of 4 years will be required to deposit the amount in a special account. The amendments in the Companies Act, she added, were aimed at improving ease of doing business and also reducing compliance burden on the companies, especially the smaller ones, opposing the ordinance brought earlier. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress and Saugata Rai of the TMC said that it was not required as the law has been amended on several occasions. Pinaki Mishra of the BJD described the bill as disastrous, saying the legislation has been drafted by bureaucrats and the lawmakers have just rubber-stamped it. A. Raja of the DMK said the Registrar of Companies has been given excessive powers, which is not good. PP Chaudhary of the BJP said once the law is amended, it will help in ease of doing business and give a boost to commerce. Replying to debate on the bill, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the bill will ensure further ease of doing business for the companies and provide better governance framework. Responding to the concerns of members on shell companies, Sitharaman said the word shell companies has not been defined in the rule book, but it is loosely referred to inactive companies or those which do not maintain a registered office. 4 lakh companies have been identified and deregistered, she said, adding non-maintenance of registered office will be a ground for deregistration of companies. India, Sitharaman said, has become the first country to make CSR spending mandatory. In case the money remains unspent for 1+3 years, the money will have to be moved to an escrow account, she said, adding it could even be the Prime Minister's relief fund. The bill was passed by the lower house unanimously after Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary withdrew statutory resolution opposing it. The bill will replace the ordinance promulgated earlier in this regard through a law. Earlier, cutting across party lines, Lok Sabha members demanded exemplary action against SP leader for his sexist remarks on BJP's Rama Devi. Samajwadi Party MP Azam Khan's remarks to Rama Devi when she was in the chair during a discussion on the Triple Talaq bill on Thursday was slammed as double-meaning, malicious, utterly condemnable and a blot on all legislators by the ministers and MPs who spoke after BJP's Sanghmitra Maurya raised the issue during the 0 hour. This is a blot on all legislators, including men, Textiles Minister Smriti Irani said, and also attacked SP leader Akhilesh Yadav for supporting Khan in the House on Thursday after the row erupted. Khan and Akhilesh Yadav were not present in the House. If Khan had made these comments outside Parliament, then police would have come to the woman's rescue, Irani said, as she urged political parties to rise above political differences and appealed to Speaker Om Birla to take action. A member cannot abuse the privilege Parliament gives him to make such comments and get away, she said. After hearing the members for nearly an hour, Speaker Om Birla said he will hold a meeting with leaders of all political parties and take a decision. Stating his party is against any kind of misbehavior against women, leader of the Congress Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary referred to his party leader Sonia Gandhi being called Italian puppet and daughter of Italy in the past, which drew strong protests from the members of Treasury benches who said the issue should not be politicized. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman wondered why there was dilemma and hesitation in taking a stand on the issue in an apparent dig at the opposition party, which objected to her remarks. Sitharaman said Khan's comments were utterly condemnable and said the House was looking to the Speaker to take exemplary action. Chaudhary said the person at the centre of the issue should also be heard, referring to Khan. He suggested that the matter be sent to Privileges or Ethics Committee. He later agreed with the prevailing view that the Speaker should take a call. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said either Khan should tender an apology or he should be suspended from the House. Several other women MPs expressed unhappiness over Azam Khan's remarks and demanded that Speaker take strict action against him. Trinamool Congress member Kalyan Banerjee said a person who does not show respect to women does not know Indian culture. NCP's Supriya Sule said she hangs her head in shame at Khan's offensive language and called for strict punishment. DMK's Kanimoi wondered how women would be treated outside Parliament when they are insulted in such a way inside. Apna Dal's Anupriya Patel said the entire nation is ashamed. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said the House should leave the matter to the Speaker. BJD's B. Mehtab said Khan's remarks were unpardonable and deserved exemplary action. It was one of the darkest days, he added. Union Minister Arjun Meghwal said Khan's comments were double meaning and he has a history of making such remarks outside the House as well. Actor and Trinamool Congress member Mimi Chakrabarti, who is a first-time MP, said whatever happened on Thursday was shameful and cannot be part of a learning exercise. AIMIM Asasuddin Owaisi said he respected the sentiments of the House but took a dig at the government, asking about the fate of a group of ministers which was constituted following a wave of allegations of sexual harassment against women in the Me Too movement, including against the then Union Minister and BJP leader MJ Akbar. Participating in the debate on the Triple Talaq Bill, Khan had Thursday referred to the intervention of Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi and read out a couplet. At this, Rama Devi, who was presiding over the proceedings, asked Khan not to look here and there and address the chair. To this, the SP member made sexist remarks at the chair, triggering acrimonious scenes. The remarks were expunged from the records. Post-lunch, the Lok Sabha discussed private member bills. BJP's Jagdambika Pal introduced compulsory voting bill, saying that the notion of voting day being a holiday must be eradicated and must be seen as a responsibility. Rajiv Pratap Rudy of the BJP said that in almost 1100 booths in Bihar during the 2004 elections, there was 99% voter turnout. The Speaker extended the sitting hours of the House and the discussion on the bill continued. Now news from Rajya Sabha. When the upper house met for the day, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu informed the House that the sitting of the House has been extended till 7th August. During the extended tenure of the session, question hour has been dispensed away with, he said. Reading out the government agenda for the extended duration of Rajya Sabha, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs V. Muralidharan said that legislations including Triple Talaq Bill that criminalizes Muslim practice of instant divorce will be brought. Other bills that will be brought are the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Bill 2019 and the Banning of Unregulated Deposit Schemes Bill. Also listed are the Companies Amendment Bill 2019, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Amendment Bill 2019, which is also called Anti-Terrorism Bill, and the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2019 are also listed, he said. PMK leader Anbumani Ramados today took oath as a member of Rajya Sabha today. Also on the 20th anniversary of Kargil conflict, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu praised the courage and gallantry of Indian soldiers and said the nation will never forget their sacrifice. Members stood in silence as they paid tributes to Indian soldiers who drove out enemy forces and reclaimed Kargil heights. During 0 hour, a Samajwadi Party member highlighted the plight of poor people who are forced to carry dead bodies of relatives on their own in the absence of hearse facilities in hospitals. Raising the issue, Javed Ali said that there have been several instances where people carry bodies of the dead relatives on bicycles and motorbikes as hospitals do not provide that. He also cited an incident from Kalahandi in Odisha where a man carried the dead body of his relative on his head for several kilometers for cremation. Meanwhile, Congress member Kumari Shelja raised the issue of alleged rampant illegal mining in Haryana, saying such activities have an adverse impact on environment. Vikas Mahatme of the BJP too expressed concern over illegal sand mining in various parts of the country. He said, as construction activities are increasing, efforts should be made to find an alternative to sand. BJP member R.K. Sinha said Bhojpuri language should be included in the 8th schedule of the Constitution, adding that the language is spoken in over 24 countries, besides 20 crore people in India. A demand to regulate fee charged by private schools was made in the upper house, with members saying private educational institutions were exploiting hapless parents. Raising the issue through a 0-hour mention, Shwet Malik of the BJP said some private businessmen have come into the education industry and converted it into a profit-making business venture. He said blood-sucking private schools exploit parents first in the name of building fee and then force them to buy books and uniform from the school. He demanded regulation of the fee charged by private schools. Surendra Singh Nagar of the SP said schools in Uttar Pradesh have been 150% rise in fee. Vaiko of the MDMK opposed the drilling for hydrocarbons permitted in Tamil Nadu, saying the most disastrous and dangerous activity will destroy fertile land in the Kaveri Delta. P. Bhattacharya of the Congress said the privatization of ordnance factories has to be stopped as it is dangerous for the security of the nation. P. Wilson of the PMK raised the issue of OBCs not getting reservation in medical colleges on seats surrendered by the state for central quota. Chuni Bhai Kanji Bhai Gohel of the BJP wanted the government to intervene to ensure fishermen get payments for their produce sold to traders within 7 days as against 4 to 5 months currently. During question hour, Union Minister Piyush Goyal said efforts are on to make Indian Railways the first green railways in the world in the next 10 years, with steps like setting up solar energy installations on its unutilized land, electrification of tracks and moving to biodiesel. He said there was no proposal at present to change railway fares after the recent hike in diesel costs due to increased excise duty in the general budget. The centre is conducting a detailed study to assess the feasibility of setting up bullet train network in other parts of the country, Minister of State for Railways Suresh Angadi said. When the upper house resumed post-lunch, private members' bills were taken up. When the private members' bill seeking abolition of capital punishment came up for consideration, the government told the house that 90% of the states have supported retaining death penalty in the country. Responding to the debate, Minister of State for Home G. Kishan Reddy said the government is examining the issue and is yet to take a final call. Citing the National Crime Records Bureau, the minister said that capital punishment was given to only 1% each in 2012 and 2013 respectively, while it was 0 in 2014 and 1 in 2015. The President of India has received 135 mercy petitions, in which 34 were dismissed, 91 were allowed and 1 fine is still pending, he added. There is also demand of capital punishments across the country, the minister said, while referring to Nirbhaya case. 90% want to retain death penalty except one state, Reddy said. Reddy further said Afzal Guru, who was hanged, had planned to attack on the same parliament in which we are sitting today. The Rajya Sabha also took up a private member's bill on amending the Representation of People's Act 1951 and removal of caps on electoral expenditure by candidates contesting polls. Congress member M.V. Rajiv Gora moved the bill further to amend the Representation of People's Act 1951. A demand was made to stop work on Polavaram multi-purpose project in Andhra Pradesh to protect tribal people and their land in Odisha. Raising the issue through a special mention, Sashmit Patra of the BJD said a total of 6,818 people, including 5,919 tribals, will be impacted in Odisha village due to the project. After several mentions, the House was adjourned. That's all in Parliament News. Thanks for watching.